Hey everyone, welcome back to the show. Of course, the Whistler Film Festival is happening over the weekend, and there's a great film opening here as well.
Yeah, absolutely. It opens up in wide release in Canada on Friday. It is called Café de Flore, and the filmmaker Marc Vallee is joining us to tell us more about this beautiful, beautiful film.
How are you?
Nice to meet you.
Good, thank you.
Tell us a little bit about it. Maybe give people an idea of Café de Flore. I mean, it's really about love.
It's a love story. If you're into love story, you'll be rewarded. You'll be, and it's about music, our relationship to music, how we use music in life to dream, love, and
that was the beginning of this film for you, wasn't it? I mean, the actual title track and the title.
It all started with this song. The title was Café de Flore, composed by Matthew Herbert. And and in 2001 for the Café de Flore on Saint-Germain-des-Prés in Paris, and for their compilation.
Yeah.
And I discovered this song in 2004, and just like the characters, I started to listen to it.
What was it for you? Because we know what the song means to the characters, and people are going to have to watch the movie to find that part out. But what was it about that song that captivated you?
Well, it's the melody played with the accordion. I don't know why. I'm still wondering why this melody has this effect on me. It inspired the film. And it reminded me of Ennio Morricone's music. You know, big theme, bigger than life. And
a little haunting too, in a way.
Yes, yes. And I was saying to myself at the beginning, one day I'll make a film on this theme, on this track. This is too beautiful. And since it was played with an accordion, that's how Paris
you go right
came.
Into Paris and a little bit of.
That's how Paris came.
And there's this beautiful theme in this film, and whether you believe in some of the things that are in the film or not, to me that idea of interconnectedness, that idea that there is maybe a soulmate, that there is, or multiple soulmates, as happens in the film. But it's a real, your brain really chews on that for a long time as you go through this film as well.
Yeah, I think so.
Was that for you? I mean, that theme and that idea of connecting and interconnectedness?
I feel the same way, but this is not part of my life. I used it to serve the story in this film. But I do believe that it's a beautiful thing. If you go there, well, that's why the character goes there in the film, because she's lost her soulmate.
Yeah.
And the wound is so hurtful. It hurts so much that sufferance makes her go to an irrational way of explaining this sufferance. But is it irrational?
You don't know.
That's the brain teaser, Marc.
Of course, music plays a huge theme in the movie. Not just the song that we're talking about, but just the music in general. And there's a musician who is cast as your leading man, who I didn't find out till after I watched the film. He had never acted before, but he's quite a well-known musician. How did you discover him, and why was he right for the role when he had never acted before?
We had the idea, the casting directors and we had the idea of bringing in some musicians and DJs in the audition process, because there wasn't a lot of actors, 40-year-old actors with that physique, And so Kevin was on the list, and we thought it was a long shot at the beginning. We didn't really like musicians, DJs. We'll see, but let's see.
We got to teach this guy how to act.
And then this guy came and took it really seriously, and when he came into the room, the ladies, they all went like,
When I saw him come on the film, I was the same way.
And it works in the role because he oozes style. I was trying to think of what it was, and obviously there's I think a sexuality or a sensuality to who he plays, but it's just he kind of owns a room when he walks into it in the film.
There's a lot of sex appeal in the guy, but the thing is there's something beautiful and fragile at the same time, fragile, and he's a sensitive guy, and he didn't, since he didn't have the background to act, it was a very natural. It was close to him.
Yeah.
And he went through a divorce also, so he could relate to the character.
Get those emotions.
And get those emotions where he's like not crying but on the verge of.
You can see it in his eyes.
You can see exactly, and no way he's going to have a tear in front of his shoulder.
No.
But He's, you know, and he was just like, this was easy for him.
Now we
It
have to
was
talk
natural.
about your leading lady too. Speaking of sensuality and sexuality, Vanessa Paradis, she's an amazing actress.
Yeah.
What was it like working with her in the film?
It was great. It was great. We tried to make her look like a normal girl. It works for the part, but it's so she's.
Yeah.
You look at her and you
It
go,
comes through.
wow.
Now, and we're
But-
also talking about love being a theme, and she's a mother who loves her child like
And she
no
has,
other.
And she has, in a way, you know, when we look at her and Johnny Depp, it's like these two are soulmates. Like they're really they're a great couple, and you know, they make us dream. They make us dream of what we try to achieve a little bit with this film, trying to believe in true love, the one you meet, the one you have once in your life. Does that exist?
Yeah.
Or more than once?
Or twice.
Hopefully, if you lost the first one.
Do you leave room? I mean, obviously, as you're going through the writing process and casting and you're doing all these things, are you always leaving room for yourself to discover more about this film as you're going into the actual filmmaking process? Like, do you have to be careful to leave yourself some space to find something new in there?
Yeah, always open to the creative process, ideas and people and the crew and all the artists involved in the project.
Because you must see these relationships starting to become real in a way as well. Because Vanessa Paradis and her son who has Down syndrome, and there's just such a beautiful connection between the two of them throughout this film.
Yeah, they made it happen. The kid and her, I mean, they worked very closely together in prep to connect, and she read a lot, and she spent a lot of time with the parents to you know, get to know how do you deal with Down syndrome and what is it, and you know, and
how do you make that connection and make it real?
And but at the end, it's two human beings, and the kid has such a beautiful personality, and it's the thing is be in the moment, because that's what they are. They don't act. When I say action, they have a notion of pretending to be Vanessa Paradis' son, for instance, but it's like, that's what he is. And Vanessa had to, you know, if finally he wants to go left instead of right as we planned, well, no.
The filmmaker
Well, it is
full
a beautiful film.
stunning.
Thank you so much. And we haven't talked a ton about the plot because you just need to see it. It's got so many twists and turns. Yeah, it's a beautiful
it's about
movie.
love. That's all you need to know. Go and I was telling Jean-Marc before, I sat there for half an hour after I watched this film and just sat and digested it and talked to my wife quite a bit, and it was a beautiful experience, so thank you.
Thank
I
you.
really loved watching it. We're going to take a break. We should tell you as well first that it opens December 1st at the Whistler Film Festival, screens December 1st at the Whistler Film Festival, and opens at Fifth Avenue Theatre on Friday, December 2nd. Go and see this film. You will love it.
You will love it.
You'll love the love.
We're going to take a quick break.